For this video, we've decided to do something you haven't done before.
Yes, and that's talk about ourselves.
I know, talking about ourselves, that's
Oh my God.
complicated.
I know.
I'm Christian,
I'm Eric.
we are the Fluffies,
Yes.
and
So we're coming up with our 1-year anniversary of
our channel,
the
Fluffies Channel.
Yes. And we thought we would do something different, which is telling you who we are, why we made this channel, and
And who are these Fluffies?
Yeah.
Who do they think they are?
yeah, why are they called the Fluffies?
Why?
It's a good question.
I know. And so we're here in the mall near us. Who follow us on Facebook or Instagram might have seen some pictures.
Yes, they're doing a big renovation in the mall right next door to our apartment.
So you might hear some noises around here, but it's
Yes.
okay. And people look at us at times.
Yeah, who are these people?
I know.
Are those the Fluffies?
I know. So I'm the fluffy one, the younger Fluffy.
By 13 months.
She's still older. So I'm originally from Brazil. This year I'm 46 years old. Time I forget. Originally from Brazil.
Old age.
I know. I was born. It's funny. I was born in this city called Santos, but actually I was born in another city called Votorantim, which is bigger to Sorocaba. It's an industrial city, but I was adopted by my parents. So I was in that city only twice. The day I was born and when I was 18 years old. So I was born there, but officially in papers I was born somewhere else, which is kind of funny to remember.
Yeah, and I'm also adopted, but my story is a little bit different. So I was born in Montreal,
Long time ago.
and I'm 47.
See?
So
Told you.
I was born in Montreal, and my birth parents were both Polish, and ironically they both were coming to North America. So my birth mother was coming to Canada, to Montreal, and my birth father, supposedly he was going to the United States. So ironically they met in an ESL class, and what do I do for a living? I teach ESL, which is English as a Second Language. So I always say that it's in my blood.
But people might ask, what does it mean English as a second language? What is...
So basically ESL is English for speakers of other languages other than English.
So my first language is Portuguese.
Right, so he would be, for example, one of my students.
Yes. And many people come to Canada. Canada is very famous or popular for receiving students from all over the world, especially Brazil. Brazil is very high. So they come here to study English as second language, and they go to these schools.
Different schools, and we have lots of them, and
Chinese and everything.
yes.
Or people move here, they're gonna study here or work here, so they go to this course, take these courses.
Right, for example, at the school that I'm in now, my students are all international students. They're from China, and they want to get a Canadian education, so parents send their children to Canada, but unfortunately their English is not high enough to get into the university, so they take courses.
So in Brazil, I used to work in record labels back in São Paulo. Then I moved back to my parents. They're living in the north coast of São Paulo state in Marizias, near São Sebastião. When I was living there in December 2000, I was online and I met him.
Me?
You.
Oh my God, yes.
He met me.
Yeah, so we were both online on it was called ICU2.
It's I think it still exists, this chat with camera. And I don't know, there was
I
time there was
remember
no
this was before internet was so popular, so
no Facebook, nothing.
yeah. So
They're the old generation now. So that time, I actually didn't like him much when I met him. Like, hey, kind of annoying. So much the date, officially for our date is December 10, 2000. Ironically, the same day as our channel started.
yes.
But 2016. So we met online. I was working in a resort back there in Maresias, and then we started talking day and night, night and day.
Yeah.
Sometimes 8 hours, sometimes 10 hours. And that time there was no internet like now, so there was a small town, so it was modem, it was dial modem, it was so annoying.
Download.
And it was so hard sometimes to call, sometimes there's no connection, sometimes everything. Then we started talking a lot.
Yes. We even had lunch together, and he would have his lunchtime, so I would make lunch and we would sit and talk on the camera.
I know. And then, there was ICQ too.
Yes.
The old ICQ. The older people may remember remember, it was so
yeah.
modern. Like, wow, it's so cool. Then, in May 2001, I came here for the first time. So my first trip
Yes.
to Canada. People are looking at us here. My friend, you're crazy. Yes, you're crazy. But 2001, I came here in May. Ironically, it was my
Around his birthday.
my birthday, my 30th birthday. Yes, forget, you know. So when I came, I met him in the airport for the first time. Ironically, this Terminal 2 doesn't exist anymore. They demolished.
See what
Even
happens?
the place you met in person doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, yeah.
It's somewhere near the airport. And then I stay here for 3 weeks.
Yeah,
2
2
weeks. 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Including my birthday, May 27th. So what did he do?
At the time I was teaching at a college here, and one of my students was a Brazilian, and he had a car, which is helpful.
Yeah, he doesn't drive.
I don't drive, and we don't have a car. Only when we go on like little trips or whatever, we might
Because
rent
I
one.
drive. I'm the one.
And so what happened was I asked my student, who was also gay, if he wanted to meet Christian.
Be careful
And-
touching here. No, microphone alert. Just in case I saw him. I want
So-
a drum. Drums.
So if he would mind coming with us and driving us to Niagara Falls. So on his birthday, we drove down to Niagara Falls.
And ironically, it was May 25th. And when I called my parents from there, there's no cell phone. It was a regular phone booth kind of thing.
Yes.
I called my parents and they told our nephew João Gabriel was born the day
Yes.
before. So that's funny that I went there is when I found out about our nephew, and because I wasn't there, I was here. Then I went back to Brazil, May 30th, and 2 weeks later,
Not even 2 weeks. I had some friends who were getting married, so I went to their wedding, and the day after their wedding, it was my turn to visit Brazil.
so he's supposed to stay for 2 weeks, and then he stayed 3.
Yes, I called up and changed my departure time.
So that's things were working all right there. So then we decided to stay together. So in 2002, April, May, same. I was the same. Is when I arrived here for good,
Yes.
and I was under the immigration process. It took a while. Had some problems, some issues. Nothing comes easy. So
No.
I had to go through some situations, some problems, and finally, 2005, I got my papers. I got bigger, and when I got here the first time, we were the same
When
size.
we met, we were both the same size.
His size, and we share clothes and everything. See, all the waiting, so I couldn't work, I couldn't study, I couldn't do anything, I couldn't get sick because I was under a temporary visa. So if something happened to me, getting sick would be very expensive. I lost a headache, so it's kind of funny. You could even leave the country, So much he got married in 2003,
Yes.
June
June 30th.
30th, right when same-sex marriage was allowed in Ontario.
Yeah, at the beginning of the month of June, they allowed same-sex marriage, and we decided that because we had friends coming in from Montreal for Pride, we decided why not have it the same day as Pride.
Yeah, actually was the day before.
Yeah, the day
Uh-huh.
before. Yeah, Friday.
So, ironically, I have our wedding the day before Pride. So, after, everybody was celebrating our wedding.
yes, but they didn't know it.
Yes. But at that time, since it was very new, you didn't get married because of marriage, more because you saw things about couples. They're together, someone got sick, and then technically they're considered just friends, not
Or roommates.
partners,
Which,
or roommates. So if you get married, you do have legal rights and things as a couple here. So that's why you got married. Actually, I was the first Brazilian and marry another man in Toronto.
yes, and we were even in the newspaper.
Yeah, because so new, the
In the
press
extra.
outside when you did the register for marriage, people ask for things. We have in newspapers, in radio. We did
Yeah.
that time. It's fine.
We did it. NBC,
Later did
MSNBC.
see thing, and I was the bride.
Yes, at the time, because it was so new, they didn't have a place for bride and groom. For groom and groom, so he was the bride
I
because
know.
he's the younger.
Yeah, see. So that time, 2003, I couldn't go back to Brazil because it's still under the process. I could go, but there was a risk. I wouldn't be
Yeah.
accepted back, so I decided not to risk. And in 2003, in February, was my father passed away, so it was a hard time because we couldn't go there because they knew if I go, I might not be able to come back. So it would be
Right.
more difficult since you're in a relationship and everything. So I only went back in 2005 after I became a permanent resident,
Yes.
which was annoying.
Very annoying.
Very annoying. So talk more about yourself.
Okay, so like I was saying, I'm adopted, and I'm very into genealogy. So I really enjoy genealogy, and when we were in Europe this past year, and when we were in Brazil, I was writing down information of relatives because Christian's father is originally from Denmark. So I had a chance to meet his aunt for the first time, our aunt, and it was really nice to meet her. And we got a whole bunch of different family members that we'd never heard of before. Ironically, there is an Eric in the family,
Eric Christian.
and yeah, there's an Eric. There's another Christian.
No. I
His-
forgot.
his-
Eric Christian.
Yeah.
He forgot or he was...
Oh my
Aha, you fail on our ancestry.
It's been a while. It's on
Ah.
my ancestry.com
It's
page.
Christian Eric or Eric Christian? One of those. Eric Christian Valdemar Pedersen, which was very
Yeah.
funny, the coincidence.
And another coincidence, one of Christian's middle names, Valdemar, is my birth father's name.
So,
Another very interesting thing, in 1995, after we met, we were talking about different trips that we'd gone on, and it turns out in 1995, in I think it was June?
May,
May, right. It was
V-Day.
the D-Day in 1995. We were both in England, in London, and we were actually both in front of Buckingham Palace.
I mean, same day, same place.
We didn't know each other then. And another very interesting coincidence. So, about 2 months before we met online, I was in Rome, Italy, which is actually ironically where I was conceived.
You love saying that.
And my host and a friend of his, we were all going down to see a movie, which was actually ironically filmed here in Toronto, X-Men. And it turns out that my host's friend was chatting with Christian online and got off the computer saying, "Oh, I'm late. We're taking this Canadian to a movie," and that was me. So that's really funny too.
So, not long ago, all these years I've been traveling, especially beginning Canada, then more to United States. Then the past 5 years, and then we started going to Europe.
Yeah, in 2012, my mother died. So we decided that instead of having my father alone in Montreal, that my cousin who would come to help take care of my father, she had to go back to Hungary, to Budapest, Hungary for Christmas vacation. And so we decided to take my father, and so my cousin would go with my father to Hungary and we would meet them in Budapest. And we did a kind of a homage to my mother. We went to her hometown, and it was the beginning of a shared love that we have for Budapest.
Yes, but all these years, especially the last 10 years, a way to share our things to my mom, my family in Brazil, decided to post things online, especially on Facebook. And I started posting pictures of us here, everything, so they could see. And our friends and followers started enjoying what we're posting. And in many situations, you meet people, oh, I saw your pictures, I follow your trip to Europe, for example, the first one. Oh, I saw your pictures, we follow you, it was so fun. And then that kept going. And then I took this course last year about videos, about editing videos and making videos. I always thought creating a channel for us, but never knew exactly what kind of things should we do, how would we do. So at the course I realized maybe we should do something about us, about our trips, talk about things we like, our food and travel, this kind of thing. This is when we start the Fluffies Channel.
Yeah.
And why Fluffies?
Because it's a nickname for each other.
Yeah, it's called Fofo. In Portuguese, it's like cutie, fluffy.
Yes.
So it became Fofo in a way, international way. In English, it says fluffy. So it became Fluffies. Fluffies, you could try fluffy or Fofo. And then it became Fluffies Channel because it would be a cute way to recognize us. So you know we're the Fluffies. Because you're fluffy. Look how fluffy.
Yeah, I'm so fluffy. Look at this.
I know. So that's why the channel started. The name and the channel. So now we can share our trips, our travels to people. And also, it's funny. Some people think, even before the channel, oh, you're millionaires. You travel around the world. People message sometimes, oh, I saw your world tour. There's no world tour.
Yeah.
I wish.
A lot of times we stay at friends' house, or we save up for the trips.
Yeah, you don't have a car. Lately don't go out as much. You don't do as much. So we try to save money and to focus in something we like. Because we realize, because my parents always took us away. Very young, always travel around Brazil and everything. So we was used to travel. Yeah, so we realized that something, instead of saving money for something, buying a house, those things, no, let's take what we can to something we like, good memories. So that's why we travel. So it's not as much people think about it. It's just we guess we share more.
True, we share more than others.
Yes. So like this year we did 2 trips to Montreal to visit his father. So it's more. You don't consider it as a trip. It's a trip, but
it's a trip, but there was a mission, and basically spend time with my father at the old age home that he's in.
So
we don't see a lot of Montreal.
Yes. Actually saw Montreal this time back in August.
For the first time
in 2 years, we went out to downtown. Because all the time we stay in the suburbs, go there, come back. So
we don't have a car, and it would take like an hour and a half and 3 buses.
Yeah, so
and after a full day of spending time with my father, we're too tired to go sightseeing.
So it's funny, people say, oh, you're millionaires, oh, where's your travel again? No, it's not. For example, to the United States this year, I haven't done at all. The last time we did was December last year, during December. So basically, almost a year without going there. Yeah. Ironically, you should go
Trump effect.
It should be 3-4 times a year, depending on the year. Sometimes 3, sometimes 4.
Yeah, just for a weekend. Or
go
to Buffalo, go shopping, because great shopping.
Or
especially for bigger
do
guys.
some events you should go. So, but now it's been less, way less. So much we didn't do 0 trip to the United States this year.
Yeah.
So it's, I guess it's more how we posted, how we shared, and really actually, because we should reach enough, I guess, to travel around the world. It'll be
That'd be
actually
great.
fun. I've seen sometimes many channels on YouTube of couples or guys, girls, living as nomads. They live in different countries, keep moving to different country every 2 weeks, a month, and something I'd like to do for
That
a
would
while.
be so cool.
I don't want to live forever like that, 'cause I think I would miss our own place kind of thing.
Yeah, and friends and
Yeah. But it would be nice to have this. I'd love to spend some time in Hungary, like a month at least. Or something I want to do sometime.
yeah, we made some good friends. I still have like family there.
I like going there. So Budapest, the place became very dear for us. So I like going there a lot. So I'm looking forward to go back.
And
Even
then-
Brazil, we go to Brazil also for the food. We love eating there.
But also both his mother and my father are getting older, so we have to go visit his mother.
Yeah.
His sister.
They're both 84 or 5, almost 86.
Yeah, they're the same. They were born in the same year.
It's 2
so-
months difference.
Yeah.
So they're going through the similar things. So it's try to visit them more often, be more present. You know, nothing. I also think it got as bigger, better for me when I became Canadian citizen in 2008. No, 7.
Yeah.
It's been 10 years as Canadian. So we could travel more, do more things, and have 2 passports and everything.
That's true. I only have one.
I know. So that's a little bit about us. I know that we could sit here talk for 2 hours,
Yeah.
but just a little bit so you can know with who we are. Oh yeah, didn't say what I do. So
What do
they
you
think-
do?
I know, I do so many things. I do besides the website. I'm editor of this Brazilian website here called BrazilianWave.ca. Is a website about this magazine for about Canada and Brazil. It's a bilingual magazine, and also I'm the social media coordinator for all the projects. Now I'm starting a podcast with this magazine. So there's so many things. going
And
on.
you're also the founder of Oi Toronto?
Yeah, which is
Co-
now
co-
called-
co-founder?
Now it's called Oi Brazil. There's a site a blog origin about Toronto to Brazilians. Now it's about Canada in general.
Yeah, Oi Canada.
Or Canada. So we've been doing a lot of things here, all over the place. And also have this radio show. I also produce this radio show in Brazil, Cidade Famous in Guaxupé, a small town outside of Minas Gerais state. They've been there 4 times already. It's a city you like a lot,
Yeah.
special friends there. And I produce some shows there. I do every week this live broadcasting. Every week I call, we tell some news about entertainment here. And so all over the place, always doing something.
Yeah.
Busy no matter what.
We're always busy.
That's enough. Let's go back because my throat. So hope you like a bit what you said. If you have any questions, post a comment, ask us. We're happy to respond. If any questions, suggestions, something like us to do. Something on us to, why don't you show this in Canada or whatever. Tell us.
Yeah, we're always up for suggestions
And if you don't follow us on YouTube, go there, subscribe, YouTube.
please, we need you.
Fluffies Channel, have our Twitter, we have our Instagram, particular private one, but you can follow us all, specify there. We're all over.
Yes,
Right?
we're all over the place.
Yeah, so love the Fluffies, enjoy the Fluffies so we can do more, be more present. So it's enough of the embarrassment, people look at us, so now let's pretend nothing. It's different, even she's... So follow us, subscribe us, and see you next time.
Yes.